Hands, yes. Good morning, gang. Everybody. Good morning, good morning. Back on this endless print. It should have been just a few days' work. A few days' work. Hey, somebody's asking for a carving stream. Somebody wants a quiet stream. I can't do both. Sorry. I can't do. Actually, this will be quiet. I got about 2 minutes or 3 minutes work with a hammer. Then it's going to be quiet chisel. So hang in there. It's okay. The hammer part's over quickly, always. Hammering won't take long at all here. In fact, it's nearly finished already, so relax. Banging the camera, I'm not quite sure. Okay, that's probably it for the noisy part. Get a bit more off here. this guy away. Okay, enough of the noisy stuff. So, how's it going? I should have flattened this part with a wider chisel actually. Okay, what's the plan for today? This is that same grey color. Excuse me. This is that same grey color block that I was working on the other day. There's been no chance to do any carving at all except at stream times, you know. So many projects going on. Still the shop is so busy. So anyway, today's plan is work on this grey color block. If I can finish this off, that's the key block, eh? If I can finish this off, do a couple more color transfers. I've got some more blank pieces of wood waiting, and there are 3 more colors to go on this print. There's the key block in the grey, then there's a yellow tone, a skin tone, and a brown tone. Just 3 more colors. And the girls, the printer girls here, are waiting desperately to get this print onto their bench. We're supposed to ship this the first week of January. And here it is already the first week of December, and I still haven't got the blocks ready. So they're going nuts because they're afraid that I'm just going to dump it to them on like December 31st or something. Our subscription prints ship always on the 1st of the month with one exception. In January, of course, we can't do that. So the first one of the year will go out when the post office opens, January 3rd and 4th. But obviously it's a New Year holiday, so the girls have to get the printing done way back in the middle of December. So they want this block, they want it right now. And yet I'm just still swamped every day with other stuff, you know. Tomorrow the shop is closed, so there won't be people here to I don't know, there's just not people here to bother me, I can't say it that way. There won't be people here coming from outside. And I'm going to today request all the staff members who will be here tomorrow. The shop's closed, but we're still working here, of course, you know. I'm going to make a request to the staff members to pretend I'm not here. You know, when I'm here, of course, people ask, Dave, what should we do? What should we do? How should we do this? How should we do this? You know, I'm not so good at delegating, you know, because people always still come back to me for the what to do, you know. So I'm going to try an experiment today. We've already talked about this with a couple of them. I'm going to ask them simply to pretend tomorrow that I'm not here, that I don't exist. So just play the game. Walk past me. Don't say hello. Don't do anything. Just pretend I'm not here. If a phone call comes in, tell them, no, sorry, Dave's off today. If they have a question they need answering, just stuff it. Just do it. Just do something. And what am I going to do with my time? Well, I'm not going to say what I'm going to do with my time because I don't want to jinx it. the Y word. Anyway, that's tomorrow's plan. We'll see what happens. We're having a ton of fun here. Like, I'm complaining because we're busy and stuff's going on, but holy crap, we're having a ton of fun. There's a question. You're starting already, are you? Does that include visitors? The shop's closed tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tuesday. The shop is closed, period. We're always closed Tuesdays. Where are my mail questions? Question. For the key blocks, Sumi ink, regular black-based watercolor. For us, what we use for the key blocks for ourselves is the stuff that comes in bottles for calligraphy. It's called, bokuju in Japanese, black soup or whatever, how you want to translate the word, bokuju, black liquid. And it comes in bottles, and it's sold mostly for people who are doing calligraphy. And it's quite rich black, and it's just about the right consistency for us. It's a very smooth liquid. Most print shops in town here don't use that. What they do is they make their own bokuju from broken up Sumi sticks. You buy what's called orezumi. You know the Sumi sticks that people use to make calligraphy ink from themselves, calligraphers. You smash those up, put them under water for 3 or 4 months to soak. Then you grind them in a nubachi, a mortar, and then strain it out. But for us, we don't do that, because no matter how carefully you strain and how carefully you grind it, you could never get the stuff smooth. It's always full of, you can feel the roughness, the grit in there. You can grind it 24 hours and it still feels gritty. And for us, when we have gritty pigment, if we're printing with our brushes, with pigment that's the slightest bit gritty, it wears out the key block really, really quickly. So we don't do that. We use the commercial calligraphy liquid, which is ground in some kind of huge industrial process and comes up really beautifully, beautifully smooth and clean. You can't even tell it's water if you had your eyes closed. So that's what we use. For a beginner out there, wherever you are right now, a Chinese grocery store, stuff like that, might have something like this, like Chinese calligraphy ink. If they don't have it, just use your black, excuse me, use black watercolor, whatever. Squirt it into a bowl, mix a bit of water with it, go for it. For us, we wouldn't use the black watercolor ink for our own use because it's a bit grayish. It's not, doesn't really have a good rich black. But for initial prints, initial printmaking, yeah, it's black. All right, what am I doing here? Where am I going? I think to get back in the middle here, I'd better put my lens back. I'm going to have an accident if I don't. Let's see, let's get around the outside first. I met with Jed last night. He had a run at the Tokyo Comic Con Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Finished last night, Sunday night here in Tokyo. He must be over at his hotel today. I guess he's just sort of chilling out, relaxing before heading back to family and stuff. I think he said it was a pretty good show. Very, very crowded, he said. I think he did very well. it's a bit exhausting for him to do those things. You know, they're long, long days in a show. You know, you stand there. He is really, really popular in a show like this. And he said his booth was just busy all day long, lined up, double teamed. You know, people are lining up, and then behind them they're looking over their shoulders to see what's going on. You know? So those are long, long, exhausting days. You know, you don't have time to go to the bathroom. You can't have lunch. You just stand there all day talking to people. You got to be friendly and happy. Selfies all day long. It's good fun, you know, good fun, but it's hard work. He did that 3 days in a row. Now it's back to family. And of course we're bugging him. Jed, more designs. We need the next number 3 and number 4 in this series, you know. He's like, oh my God, already? We're on camera, right? Yeah. Keep going, we're on the outside. Here we go. What's here? More messages below. Does that include visitors? Oh, back here. Did he replace the boiler in Oma? Yes, they did. As far as I heard from the girls. Thank you for hot water. Oh, William's here. Hi. Oh, too much. No idea. I can't read it all, guys. Sorry. If there's questions, I don't know. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going around a few high spots here. Crunch, 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 crunch. Okay. Now in the middle. Too big. Anything I should be paying attention to here? Seems okay. This wood isn't clear which way the grain wants to go. You know, sometimes it's got a very clear grain direction, up and down. This one's a bit funny. Some places go one way, some places go the other way. So can't make up its mind what it wants to do. This one will also need lots of adjustments after I do test printing. This is those gray scratch brushing, and at the moment many of these lines are carved a bit too fat. I'll have to thin them down and smack them up and put more roughness into them. But I need a test first before I can do that. Some kind of construction going on out there. Kind of playing with a ladder, I guess. I don't know. They're building three doors down from us. It's undergoing renovation right now. It looks like they're making a new restaurant, which I guess is good news. We'll see. It was an accountant's office. It was empty for the last few years while we've been here. I guess the guy was dying or something, and now he's gone, so they could sell the building and go for it. So might have one more place to get dinner. Who knows? See what it's like. Or it could turn out to be just another smoky bar, all exactly the same. The government here is stumbling towards trying to get no smoking systems put in restaurants here, but it's going to be a long haul. They've tried to the government's made proposals about this, turning public buildings into non-smoking, and predictably all the bars and restaurants have gone ape shit, and they're not going to stand for it. We'll lose all our customers, blah blah blah. You want to point out to them, what's happened overseas, that North America, England, whatever, Germany, they don't allow smoking in restaurants and they're doing just fine. But the Japanese are pretty insular. Not to mention that most of the government guys are old dudes who all smoke, of course. So I'm not holding my breath. I'm not holding my breath to see something change in that respect. So for me, most of the bars are here in the Sussex are just no-go zones because they're just too smoky. I can't bear to be in that kind of place. I hear a question. Let me just finish this little pop here. Now everybody sits to wait. Will Dave remember that there's a question, or will he forget? What's my limit? 10 seconds? 20 seconds? Just give me a second. I want to finish this little part. Hey, I remembered. There's a question. Okay, somebody's asking a question about printing. In fact, somebody from the Facebook page, one of the people doing the initial experiments, about printing. I know. Says he's getting brush lines on the test prints and splotchiness on the others. It's difficult to give a specific answer. I know. If you've got brush lines in a print, it means either your brush is too hard, or you're pressing too hard, or the whole thing is too dry and it's leaving a scratchy effect. I know. I wouldn't worry too much about stuff like this. I know you're making your very first print, your first experiments. I know. What's far more important than having a print that is all perfect in every respect, what's far more important is to be able to go through, make one, wipe, rub, block, make two, rub, bang, bang, make three. I know there's a problem when you're trying your first printing, is if you go too slow and stop and look at each one, figure out what's wrong, the next one will automatically be worse because you've waited and taken time. So it's just more important to zoom right through on junk paper, not nice expensive Japanese washi. Zoom right through on junk paper just to try and get more of a feel for how it's going. And then after you've made 10 junk sheets and another 10 junk sheets and another 10 junk sheets, you'll find that those questions start to answer themselves, So for first experiments, I need my lens here, it's a bit too small. Excuse me while I refocus here. Just a second. Old man Dave needs his lens here. Hang on a sec. It'll be much safer to do it this way. Okay, let's find the spot. Just a moment. Where am I? Looking for this spot. Oops, pressed something on the camera. Right, focus please, come on, do your job. Come on, camera. Let's try and get this, come on, focus. Just a minute, gang, while I try and sort this out. It says manual. How do I turn that on? Not yet. Come on, focus. Is that it? Here we go. Thank you. Now the light's too bright. What's going on? Come on. If it's not one thing, it's the other. Menu. There we go. All right, better. Thank you. Sorry for the delay there, guys. Gradually getting used to that camera, how it's working. Yeah, back to that question. Sorry, streaks in printing is brush strokes or pressing too hard. You say blotchiness. I'm not quite sure what that means, but just presumably pigment is not spread out evenly on the block. Maybe, I don't know. Blotchiness. If there's pigment building up near the lines and stuff, you have to finish when you're brushing with your pigment soft, soft, soft strokes at the very end. It's hard to describe in words. We had an interesting experience yesterday, and I can, I guess, try and tell you the story, but without visual examples it might be difficult. At this time of year we've got that gift page running, and it's not uncommon for first-time people and new people, new customers to order prints from us. We get a lot of repeaters, a lot of repeat business, but we also get a lot of new people who've heard about this or seen what's going on or something and tried ordering a print. And for many people then it's their first woodblock print, first Japanese print, whatever. So they don't quite know what's normal. I know. What I'm getting at is when they receive the print, we got the letter yesterday from a young man who had received one of our prints. And actually, interestingly enough, the one he ordered was one that we were really quite proud of and think is really done very well. It's really very beautiful. And he got it, and his email was very polite to me, saying, wow, it's beautiful, it's very nice, thank you very much. It's sort of, all that I expected it to be. But then he went on to say a few more things. He got a magnifying glass out and had looked at it and found places that he thought were, maybe actually this might be a mistake. I wonder if, David knows about this. There's something that looks like a bit of misregistration here. There's something that looks like it might be a broken line here. And he looked at it really, really very carefully and very detailed and wrote a letter asking, are these mistakes? What should I be expecting? Is this okay? Because he was obviously a bit disappointed that he had found things that were defects in it. And we read the letter, and when I showed it actually to a couple of staff members here, because he had put some photographs in, he had prepared a lens looking under a glass to magnify this thing, and had found places where there was a bit of color poking out below the lines and stuff like this. And when I showed that to the staff here, one of the girls upstairs, actually it was a bit of a mistake, I shouldn't have done it, because she's not full of self-confidence too much. And she saw his criticism in his photograph, this microscopic defect, and she said, that's okay, I'm never going to print that print, and again, don't ask me to do that job anymore. And I'm like, no, relax. I'm not dissing you because of this letter. We're just showing you, just so that you know how strict some of these customers are, And it was a mistake to show her, because she's now, it doesn't help her self-confidence to think that people are looking at this stuff microscopically, But the points he brought up were interesting, what is normal, what's reasonable, because we're talking so much about we're making such high quality stuff and blah, blah, blah. And yet he was able to find a place where the color popped out past the boundaries of the things. So I wrote back to him politely, and there's no simple, easy answer. We're looking for perfection. We don't get it. We don't get perfection, of course. And there's another aspect that we see that he doesn't, that we probably shouldn't think about. And that's the comparison with other workshops. The general level of quality here in Tokyo in 2017, compared to what it was in 1817 or 1917, the general level of quality here now is really, really low. It's just a fact of life. It's not even a criticism or an insult. Life has changed. Woodblock printmaking is not a major part of society. There are fewer people doing it, so the standard has dropped. We know that, and we know that our print, compared to the other stuff in town, is fabulous. But he doesn't know that, and it shouldn't make any difference. Just because other people are worse is no praise for me. If you get what I'm getting at, I shouldn't look at the bad ones. If you pick a really bad example, you can make anything look good in comparison. So it shouldn't be a factor. But it is for us, because we know this. We live and breathe in that sea, We swim in that sea all the time. So we're always thinking, wow, this is so cool, this is so great. But this guy doesn't know that. He doesn't see that. All he saw was that there were things in there that looked like defects. So I can maybe, if I give you a link to an image, not the image he sent, but the image of the print itself in our catalog, I can speak the URL. It's in mokuhankan.com/catalog/0051.php. That's the catalog page for this item. It's the Spring Fuji print in our catalog. And there's a link to an enlarged image there. I'll give it a minute to see if somebody can come up with that link. What are they doing next door? No idea. Installing something. Is that how you spell catalog in our? Yeah, okay. Okay, then there's a link to a pop-up image there. No, an enlargement. And in his criticism of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 or 7 points there, for example, one of the things he mentioned as criticism was when you look at the line of the mountain, we put metallic pigment on the edge of the mountain. And when it comes down to the right-hand side, coming down towards the tree branch, there's a gap. And that's part of the design. It was just drawn that way. The line doesn't hit the tree branch there. But he thought it was a chip, a mistake, you know. Then over on the left side, where the sky block and the mountain block and the line of the mountain and the line of the clouds, if you look at the enlargement, they don't all line up together. And this is another interesting point. The original that I reproduced looks like that. So I didn't quote fix, unquote it when I made my reproduction. We just kept the relative looseness that was in the original. But now here we are, it looks like a mistake in my print. So I'm really not sure what to say. You know, I'm not asking for support in Dave, you're wonderful, you don't need to look at this criticism. It's a very interesting point. People get in their first print. What's normal, what's acceptable, and what isn't. You know. Excuse me. There's an interesting point, Donna. Maybe I've chatted about this on the stream here before. The concept of what handmade means as opposed to what machine-made stuff means, factory stuff, you know. And I don't know how old most of you on the stream are. I don't know. I'm 66, so maybe more of you are younger than me than older than me, you know. And within my lifetime, very, very interesting transformation has happened. When I was younger or whatever, or even, of course, the generations before me. What are they doing next door? Not sure what they're doing. Anyway, it can't be helped. If you think of, two things. Handmade stuff as opposed to things made in a factory, mechanically made stuff. And if you thought about the word quality, which one of those two categories should quality be attached to? Handmade things or factory-made things? And when I was younger, handmade meant quality. And factory would have maybe meant a bit looser, a bit rougher, whatever. To get really quality things, you had to go to handmade things. This was that was sort of the normal way. That was the air we all breathe in. But now, factory stuff, typical iPhone, whatever, or computer or anything, factory-made stuff now is perfection. You know, the car that rolls off the assembly line is perfect with all its bajillion parts. The phones are perfect. So mechanically made things now, factory-made things are the quality in quotation marks. And people now think of the word handmade as being, oh, that's funky, rather than being well-made. So there's a kind of a paradox for us in that, you know, of course, we're trying to make things as perfectly as we can, as beautifully as we can. And yet, you know, we can't compete with a typical modern factory, which makes things now perfectly. And there's no way we're going to embrace that and say, okay, because we're handmade, it's going to be funky and the registration should be off and the color should be different on every print. There's no way we're going to do that. It's just not our DNA. It's not what we want to do. So we're in this kind of a paradox in that we want perfection. We've got human hands rather than machines. It's sort of that, if I can make an analogy, people talk about life, right? There's no destination at the end, it's the journey. Okay, so for us then, this whole question about quality, it's not the end product, it's the way we look at our work, the way we behave while we're doing it. Try and make it a bit better, try and make the registration tighter, try and make the color smoother. So the journey is more important than the actual destination. Oops, we didn't quite get there, but anyway, we tried. I'm half laughing here. I don't really know what to think about this. But a huge paradox in our work now. We want perfection, but we want it to be handmade. So. Some real hard spot in the wood here. Yeah, there it is. You can see it's a knot in the bottom. Jump. Oh, take my glasses on, take my glasses off. There's a question. Let's find it. Excuse me, I gotta answer this one. Excuse me, just a minute. It's a question from Cameron. I don't need to tell it to you. It's okay. You must be on the train on the way here. Okay. Now the cat one. Where am I? Get this thing mixed up. Here, okay? Move a bit more over. bit too far. I can't tell. Eh? Sorry about that. Something else I was thought yesterday. I went out to see Jed last night at the show. He did the Tokyo Comic Con, which wrapped up yesterday, Sunday. This must be Cameron. Which just wait a minute. The story. Just wait. The story can wait a moment. Good morning, Cameron.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
Hey, no. I've got your number. You know. I went out this morning before starting the stream. I had to make a copy here.
Oh, yeah.
And when I came back, I left the door open.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at like 7:30.
I didn't even touch the door. Oh,
No, you wouldn't know, because normally I lock it, of course.
Yeah, almost always locked.
It's locked,
yeah.
Of course it's locked. But today I came in and thought, I don't need to lock this today.
Cameron will be here soon.
I didn't think. I just thought I don't need to lock this today. And I came up. If I was printing up on the third floor, I lock it, because I can't hear the second floor.
Right.
Here I am, but I left it open. Just so you know what's going on here. Cameron just arrived at work, no problem. And as you've heard me tell the story, I went out to make a color copy this morning, a couple of hours ago. When I came back, I thought, whatever, I'll just leave the door open. I don't know why, I just left the door open.
Well, thanks a lot. It worked out great.
The question a minute ago was Cameron saying, I don't have my keys this morning, please run down. Sorry to disturb the stream, but please run down and open the door.
Yeah.
I didn't need to do that, so
Thanks so much.
got your number.
Perfect. Great. Thank you. It worked out. Excellent.
Yeah.
Finishing up this block here.
Trying to finish up. Actually, it's been good. They've been chatting about different stuff. I've basically kind of ignored the stream. I think they've been talking among themselves. Oh, you're supposed to say good morning.
Oh, good morning. Supposed to say good morning.
Whatever.
Well, good. Here, lots of things to.
I know there's just to let you know what's going on. I know
Yeah.
we put out the next. I put out the
Subscription.
announcement of a subscription service,
Right,
but
right,
I also mentioned the gift prints.
Oh,
And that
right.
was on over, so you know what's
no.
happened. So what I did was it's another 25 pager. So last night I did it. I sent it through last night. I just whatever, just because today there's going to be one.
25 pages of owls.
Whatever 25. I don't know. Just the 20.
lot,
You know,
yeah.
like it was before.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
but anyway, I sent it to you last night, so that's done.
Yeah.
So, but it didn't
There'll be
stop.
some overnight.
So there's
yeah.
another bunch overnight. Well, I need the computer for this.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
And well, it sounds
the
like
point
maybe
being-
we'll be kept busy.
So,
anyway.
so it doesn't matter. So we don't have to rush on this morning's group because
Okay.
they got 25 pages of it last night.
My goodness, that's wild.
And we're going to have to do Suga-san's doing another batch of owls now. But
Oh wow.
but it looks like it's going to be close. So we're going to have to start another batch. I don't want to talk about owls. Don't mention owls. Don't talk about it. So,
The small bird. The
so. It's wonderful. It's just gone crazy.
Yeah.
It's just gone nuts.
Wow.
It's crazy. So.
well, great. Another winner.
The downside though is great waves. There's a tons. I shut the webpage down because we don't have any.
Yeah.
And people want it for Christmas, and it's not going to happen.
not gonna
It's not going to happen. So we need there's 4 or 5 or 6 people who are asking, so they need to be answered today.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
and before I forget, there's a couple of people. You know the thing we call the zombie cleanup.
Yeah.
There's a couple of responses to that need
Okay,
answers.
yeah.
To.
Great. In the last couple of days, because I've gone through and looked for all the purple flags and responded. to
No, I
those,
hadn't. I know it's simply sitting in the
Okay.
inbox. So
Great.
So there's a bunch of things to once we get going.
Sure.
So.
but I'll go keep myself busy until then. There's lots to do.
Yeah,
so.
there certainly is incredible. So.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt the stream again.
Link doesn't work. What are we doing? No, legendary loot needs an underbar. Legendary underbar loot. Somebody's got a bit wrong. I haven't done the. I'm going to put a bunch of redirects for all the possible names it could be. It's legendary underbar loot. Is the Mokuhankan.com isn't working for me. There you go. You've got it. Okay, don't get sidetracked. Dave, don't get sidetracked. Hey, Tony. Where was I? Oh yeah, I'm just in the middle of the last batch here, cleaning off this stuff. We're over time. We're okay. No, I'm good. 50. I'll be able to finish this, I think. Maybe. Let's see. I was doing so well till all those interruptions came. Oh yeah. Anyway, I went to Makari Mess, the place, the convention center where the Tokyo Comic Con was on. What Jed and I had to do last night after the show was over, I met him at a restaurant, and he had to do some signing. You know, those of you who took part of the last Kickstarter campaign, we had a special item in that campaign, which was a bound book of Ukiyo-e Heroes prints. And we've been, since the campaign started, we've been printing here, making the prints for that book. And we can't use, I don't have a sample nearby. Maybe I do have a sample nearby. Yay! Yo, if I can reach. Hi. To make a bound book of those prints, we can't just take prints from our stock, because normally the prints we make they have small margins. And if we bound them into a book and sewed them up in that margin, you wouldn't be able to open it. So what we've been doing over the past couple of months since the campaign closed, we've been doing this. We've been making a bunch of our Ukiyo-e Heroes prints with a much wider margin at one side. This is so they can be bound along this side. And still, we're going to be binding them. It's too dark here, isn't it? We're going to be binding them. So we've been making those. And it needs 100 prints to be made, 10 of each style with wider borders. They're almost all done. We hoped to get all 100 done before Jed came to see us. We didn't make it. So I've got 90 of them done. There's one of the 10 prints is still not finished. Anyway, long story short, he signed them last night. I took him over to his place, to the restaurant near his hotel. And we sat there with prints spread all over our table after we finished dinner. And he brought his seal, his vermilion seal, and he sealed and signed all the prints while I sat there shuffling them back and forth and playing secretary for him. So people have been asking about that book. It is now, production is now nearing the final stages. The prints are all ready. I've got to get the stories printed out that go with each print, make a nice cover for it, and then start sewing. And I'm not sure, we don't really have staff here to do that, so probably that's a job I'll end up doing myself, I think. But the thing that triggered me to think of this, we sat there in that restaurant near the convention center where there had just been this giant Tokyo Comic Con. And it's more than about just comics. It was people who were anime fans, game fans, it's, you know, you name it. It all seems to be mixed together. And all around us there, the...
China.
Ah, Soka, yeah. And all around us there was just people swarming this way and that way, and they had gear with them, bags from the convention, they had books, they had phone cases with game characters on the outside. I was just surrounded. I can't even emphasize how much I was surrounded, bathed in this sea of young people interested in all this pop culture stuff. You know, like you're going to shrug your shoulders, so what? Whatever, that's what a convention is. I get it. But even though I make these prints and I'm living in this thing about we make these characters, it really, really drove home to me how vivid and alive and important it is for those people who are in there. These people were just living in that stuff. Thousands of people walking by, all with these characters and goods and cosplays and chatting about the Wonder Woman movie they just saw or something. And whatever, it was just kind of a bit of an interesting experience to see this. You know, I don't see that stuff in my day-to-day life, and I read about it and I see it on the net and this and that, and our customers enjoy our work, but I don't see it and feel it and taste it day by day. And out there near that convention center, swarming, and tens of thousands of people, you know, all living and enjoying that life, you know. I don't know, I'm not very good at explaining what I felt. Just it was a different environment for me to be in, you know. I tried to mumble this to Jed, and he's like, what are you talking about, dude? These are your customers, you know. Okay. But, it just sort of emphasizes to me how much I'm really just on the periphery of this. You know, I'm cutting and carving these prints, but I certainly don't feel them and understand them in the way that other people are doing so. I seem to have lost my microphone somewhere along the way. Oh, lots of conversation. Sorry guys, I can't keep up with all this. I'm sorry, excuse me. I'll have a look at it later. You know, in a commercial district like this, full of restaurants and shops, when there's construction, they have there's real limitations on it. You know, the culture is quite serious. You can't do stuff that's going to sort of be dangerous when shoppers and people are walking around the streets. So it's got to be done either during the night or before opening hours, and after opening hours doesn't work because there's so many bars and restaurants around here. So this time of day we've got right now, what is it now? It's 9 o'clock or something. This time of day, before the district comes alive, it's the quietest time of day. This is when a lot of this construction and things happen. We had to be careful of this too when we were doing our own work, building our shop 3 years ago. Inside we're okay, we do whatever we want inside. But when you're doing something like work on the facade or the front door or anything that impacts on the street, you really, really have to be careful. I recognize one of the voices out there. It's one of the guys who helps run Yoshikami, the Western food restaurant that is right behind our shop. And I recognize his voice, so it must be those guys from the restaurant that are doing something this morning. It's crazy. It sounds like it's Cameron upstairs, but it's not. It's like 2 doors down. That's how close these buildings are packed, you know. Okay, nearly finished here. Got to get this last corner finished off. That'll be it for this morning. It's going to be doorbell time soon, so let's recap, see where we're at here. Excuse me. This is the first of the color blocks for the first print in next year's subscription series. There's going to be 4 color blocks in all, I think. So 1 key block and 4 color blocks. I did this one first because this is the one that has the most detail, takes the most time, all those gray scratch carvings. The other 3 color blocks are going to be pretty much flat color, we'll see. And the schedule then is today, it's now Monday morning in Tokyo. So it's now going to be my day off. Day off, what does that mean? There'll be no stream tomorrow. There's never any streams Tuesdays in Tokyo. The shop is closed. And last week and the week before, I used the Tuesday to go out to our Ome workroom to meet the staff there and talk about different stuff that was going on. I won't be doing that this week. I'll be staying here in Tokyo. But the shop is closed on Tuesdays. And as I said earlier in the stream, we're going to try a little experiment here. I've asked the staff, or I will be asking the staff today, the ones who are working here tomorrow on their printing and other stuff, web page work and things like this. I'm going to ask them to pretend I'm not here. Don't see me. Walk right past me. Don't say hello. Don't do anything. We're not going to eat lunch together. Just ignore me. I'm going to try to make it a day of work on something that's been long delayed. The Y word. And no promises on what might get uploaded and what might not get uploaded. No promises, because I've learned just to keep quiet about that. But that's the plan for tomorrow. Then Wednesday morning, the day after that, Tuesday night for most overseas people, Wednesday morning I'll be back here at the bench. I'll be color carving on those last 3 color blocks for this print. And this we're really desperate now. The girls are absolutely desperately waiting for these blocks. This print is promised for January delivery. This order's pouring in. And I haven't got the blocks finished, so. I think that needs a battery charge, doesn't it? Staff today in the shop is going to be Kawai-san and Doi-san. And for a very, very unusual thing, for the first time in months, literally, first time in months, we have no print parties scheduled today. Maybe this is officially the end of our autumn tourist season. And the staff is going to work on putting stuff into our flea market section. There's lots of work to do. Things that have been ignored for the past couple of months because we were just inundated with visitors. Good morning, good morning. Hey, no parties today, the show?
No parties.
No parties. Oh my God, our business is at an end. What are we going to do?
Sunday.
We're going to be bankrupt. No parties.
No parties. No.
You say hello to the stream? Hey,
Stream.
can you say hello to everybody? Can you say hello?
Ah. Hello. Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, this is Kawai-san, one of our staff members here.
Good morning.
Wait, did I? No, it sounds like it's upstairs. It's not. Yoshikami-san がなんかやってるみたいですね。ちょっとわかんない。
そうか、それの。今日何色
one color, one key block and 4 color blocks, I think. So. But I'm not sure. I might have to, Jed's plan and what might happen in reality are not quite sure if they're going to match. So it might need 5 color blocks. I'm not sure.
How was staying there? Macquarie's hotel. Suite room?
Jed, I didn't go there. I know Jed. We met in a restaurant. So I know restaurant. We met in a restaurant. We did the signing. I know. We signed all the prints for the. I say we signed. He signed all the prints for the ukiyo-e book. It was crazy crowded out there. I went after. Yeah, I know. I went about 8 o'clock after the convention finished at 6, so it was already closed. So I thought it was gonna be okay. It was berserk. It was nuts. There was people everywhere cosplaying and dancing and just everything. So
Halloween party.
Like so exactly. So for me, it looks like a Halloween party. Exactly. So.
Yesterday finished.
It was fine. Last day. Yesterday was the last day. So. And there were a ton of foreigners here. Jed said that half the attendees looked like foreigners.
Yes, sales.
He said it was pretty good. I don't know the numbers, but he said it was good. He looked happy. I think he's okay. Well, he's got to cover a flight, hotel, the booth fee, and all that stuff. It's expensive for him to do this show. Okay, I think I might be finished here. Let's zoom out a bit. Okay, let's recap. On one side of this thing this is the key block for the first print in next year's subscription series. I still have to paste down this part I chipped the other day, and I've got to fix a little nick in one of those places. We'll be doing that soon. That's the key block. And we also have one of the color blocks. This will be a color block for gray tones in the print. Gray tones on the sword and some gray splashes here and there. In addition to this, there's going to be 3 more color blocks for a yellow skin tone and a brown tone on the blacksmith's tunic. So there we are. Work on that will be continuing on Wednesday and Thursday. Tomorrow, as I said, there's no stream. It's a Twitch rest day. Ha ha ha. So there we are. I'm now off. Away we go. Thanks for watching, guys. Yeah, so this is an important point. I did first. I always do this. If there's 4 color blocks and there's going to be easy, medium, and hard, I do the hard one first, the one that takes time first. I learned that lesson a million years ago. Start with the difficult stuff. Otherwise, you just end up in such incredible trouble. Start with the difficult stuff. Get it out of the way. Just face it, bite it, grab it, do it. The rest is then smooth sailing. Okay, I do have to get out of here. Thanks very much now. Bye-bye. I'll see you 48 hours from now, -2, on Wednesday morning. Thanks very much. Bye-bye. Camera off. Okay, stream down. Thank you again. See you later.